frustrations with my NBA All-Star selections for all time. And why do I pick Wilt over Kareem and other things like that? Okay, I have a small frustration when I make my All-Star team because I'm like, do I want Magic or LeBron at point guard? And the reason I say that is because I have Larry Bird at small forward, and because I want a shooter there. LeBron's an okay shooter, but so my frustrations are defensive. If I pick Magic, LeBron, and Steph Curry at point guard, then how good are they at defense for defending a point guard? I would like to slide Gary Payton in there as if I have two players per position that I get to select. I kind of consider getting Steph Curry and Gary Payton, or because I want Steph Curry as a shooter to spread the floor. So Magic Johnson's not somebody who's going to spread the floor. Maybe he would work on it and do it some, but LeBron can spread the floor some, but it's not always consistent. Okay, let me go real quick and I'll go back to some of that. But why do I pick Wilt Chamberlain over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Okay, it's not just that I'm picking Wilt over Kareem, but also that I'm picking Hakeem Olajuwon instead of Kareem, and instead of Dwight, and instead of Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, so if I'm going with, here's my team. I'm just going to list it real fast. It's my latest team, and I'm not sure of it though. Is I had, well, I'll say that point real quick. I feel like Wilt Chamberlain has better stats than Kareem on defense and offense. So Kareem's the most consistent scorer, I think, at a high percentage. So I'm always debating, I wonder if it's better to put Kareem or not. And then, but Wilt, I haven't looked back at the stats in a while. He just seems to stand above the rest in overall stats. For a pretty long time, he did. So obviously Kareem is better throughout his career than anybody else, most consistent, I'll say, it's for the longest period of time. But he is an elite defender, actually. But these other guys just stand out a little bit on defense. Hakeem Olajuwon is better than Wilt and Kareem at defending, switching on defense and defending point guards or shooting guards or small forwards. So that's why I like Hakeem Olajuwon. But then Hakeem Olajuwon has pretty good shooting, but not as good as Kareem or Wilt. So, and not even as good as Shaq. So as far as percentage goes, but he is good. He does have a good shooting percentage. All right. So now I'll just say but I just feel like for the style of center that Wilt and Kareem they're pretty much in the same style in a sense, in that they don't guard perimeter players as well as Hakeem Olajuwon, or as well as Tim Duncan, or as well as Kevin Garnett. So I have Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan at power forward. I have Wilt and Olajuwon at center. Okay, so it's not that I have Olajuwon in front of Kareem, it's that I have Wilt in front of Kareem, and I have Olajuwon to go in as my defensive player if I want somebody who can switch. And Wilt, even though he's not got the best lateral movement from what I understand, so he's not as good as Olajuwon at guarding perimeter players, he's still pretty good at it. And really Kareem is okay at it too. But as far as being really good at it, Olajuwon is, Dwight Howard is. And Shaquille O'Neal is not. And so Shaquille O'Neal fits in the same bracket as, and the way I'm looking at it generally, as Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I have Shaquille in the same bracket as those guys, and I have have Kareem a little more consistent than Shaq, and Wilt a little overall better defensive player, more consistent, more endurance than Shaq. Okay, so those three are really close. If you think so, when I really look at it though, those guys are really close, and you could say that in some ways Shaq is better than Kareem, in some ways Kareem's better than Shaq, but Wilt, I would say, has a mixture of both of those guys. So that's kind of why I like Wilt. I can't say I'm 100% correct on who's the best one out of those. You're not going wrong with any three of them. Either of the three that I have Hakeem Olajuwon in a different bracket, and I have David Robinson in that bracket. But David Robinson, his shooting numbers went down. His shooting percentage went down in the playoffs regularly in the playoffs. So that's why I ended up knocking him off the list. When I look at his regular season stats, I'm like, he's the best one. Why aren't they talking about him? And then I realized in the playoffs that his shooting percentage went down. So I had to say no. But on defense, he's still the best. It's him and Tim Duncan may be the best defensive players ever, according to the defensive ratings chart. There, as far as the top players go, I mean, as far as greatest of all time players in the post, Tim Duncan and David Robinson are the best according to the defensive rating chart. And then you got Bill Russell. They say he's the best by far, but they don't have him on the defensive rating chart. I think I had read him being rated before, and it wasn't as high as they say it would be. But people say he's better than anybody by far on defense. Okay, but Bill Russell, the reason I don't put him in the top, he's kind of like David Robinson. Except consistently, Bill Russell, his shooting percentage is not that good. So I'm like, okay, I need a player that can at least have decent shooting percentage plus be good on defense. And that's why I don't have Bill Russell. As much as he won games and stuff, I think he had a good team. I think he had a good strategy. But his shooting percentage wasn't that good. And that's turnovers. That's the way I look at it. So, yeah, I want Bill Russell for defense, but I also want somebody who plays two ways. And that's why I pick Hakeem Olajuwon over Bill Russell. That's why I pick Hakeem Olajuwon over Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard could almost go right there with Hakeem. It's like, is it Hakeem or Dwight that I want for my defensive center? And so I got Wilt. I got Hakeem Olajuwon. I would like to put maybe consider getting Kareem and putting Hakeem Olajuwon at power forward. That's a consideration. But but I want a center who can switch. So I got two power forwards who can switch pretty well, and that's Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. So I could also put LeBron James at power forward. So here I'm going to read off my current team, and I got LeBron James at point guard instead of Magic, and that's a tough one I'm not sure about. But I got to put LeBron somewhere, I think. He's got to be put somewhere. And I think he just does a little more than Magic does. So Magic's a better point guard. But why do you need a point guard as good as Magic Johnson when you have Michael Jordan who can handle the ball, you have Larry Bird who can handle the ball, you have LeBron James who can handle the ball, you got Steph Curry who can handle the ball. And I want Steph Curry. So I got LeBron and Steph Curry at point guard. Steph Curry is the backup. I got LeBron starting. I got Steph Curry there to spread the floor. He's not a great defensive player, but he's okay. Okay, he's not terrible. He's good on defense. He's not great. He's not elite, but he's good. So, I put Kawhi Leonard behind Michael Jordan at shooting guard. Shooting guard, so we can switch him in and out and use him on defense. Kawhi Leonard at small forward if we want. But at small forward, I put Larry Bird, who's way underrated. I don't want to comment on Larry Bird. Larry Bird. They quit talking about Larry Bird when Kobe Bryant came along. They always wanted to compare Kobe to Jordan, but the person that they were leaving out was Larry Bird. So the next best player to Jordan, in my opinion, even though he's in the small forward position, would be maybe Larry Bird. And so that didn't judge Kobe correctly. Kobe's good, but his shot percentage wasn't up there with Larry Bird's or LeBron's or Jordan's or Kevin Durant's or Kawhi Leonard's. And that matters because if your shooting percentage isn't that good, that means that's like turnovers. So it was good, but not quite to that level. And so no matter how good Kobe was, which he could carry the whole load himself, he was amazing to watch, fun to watch. He had a lot of grit to him, but his percentage wasn't as good as these guys. So when I have guys I can choose from who have a better shooting percentage, that's who I'm going to choose. And that's how I've done it on the whole chart. That's why I gave up one of my favorite players, David Robinson, because I found out in the playoffs. I realized in the playoffs I wasn't checking that, and his percentage went down. So he is one of my favorite players because of his skills and his team play. And that's one thing I like about LeBron is his team play, his balance. And so you got. I'm going to have to go here. I'm about to run out of time. But anyway, so I got Larry Bird and Kevin Durant at small forward. Then I have Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan at power forward. And so my frustrations are that some of these guys aren't the best defensive players. Like Jordan, LeBron's good enough. Curry's not necessarily the best, but I can use Kawhi Leonard. I can use LeBron can fit in there with Jordan and Kawhi even. And Larry Bird's actually a good defensive player, believe it or not. So all my post players are good defensive players. All right, I have to go. I'm sorry I ran out of time. I wanted to do a little more explanation, but I think I covered most of it.